Ta-da, we've started recording. Okay, we're going to do LinkedIn 202 because you guys both have more than 500 connections on LinkedIn. So this is awesome, really great. Now, usually when I do LinkedIn 202, I do a full 2 hours just on the groups because the whole key to LinkedIn is in the groups. So I'm going to just quickly go through a couple of housekeeping things before we actually get into the groups. And number one, see this little contact tab on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
This is where you need to make sure you have your phone number and not your address, unless you have a business address that's on a business, in a business sector. But if you just have if you've got a home-based business, you don't want to put your address on there, but you can put what city you're in. But you have your phone number so people can phone you, and your email that you prefer people to use to contact you. Now your website needs to be, and this is great, you've used, you could change this one a little bit. All of your websites, like they give you a selection to choose when you're setting up, putting your websites on here. And they usually give you a selection, company profile, personal website, that kind of company website, personal website, company blog, personal blog, those kinds of things. But what you do is you go down to the bottom of that drop-down menu and you choose Other. So I'm going to go back to my profile. And here in my contact info, what you do, so you see this little pin? You click on that little pin. That'll show up on your own profile. And see this little drop-down menu where it shows Other? You click Other, and then there's a place in here to put the name of your blog or the name of your website. Use keywords in there, and it's not necessarily the name of your website as the way you actually have it named, but make sure that you use keywords in your title that would be words that people would search for if they were going to Google you. Okay?
Yep.
And then you put your URL. So you do that with all of your websites. So see, the selections are personal website, company website, blog, that kind of thing, but you want to always choose Other and put in a proper name so that it is picked up by the search engines. So everything we do on LinkedIn needs to be thought through to make sure that we're doing things that the search engines are going to pick up on. Okay, so now here's some. How have you done with your what do I call this? My mind. Your headline. Have you guys got your headlines in here?
Yeah.
So your headline needs to be 13 words, and it needs to describe what you do. It's not MBA, CGA, or any of that kind of stuff, because that will show up down here in your education. So this has to talk about what you do. So I wrote in here, the LinkedIn Marketing Mentor speaking with businesses on the true power of LinkedIn. And you can change this. So if you decide you want to change it around a little bit every once in a while, that's a good thing because the search engines really like that. And then with all of your experience, current, previous, and your education, when you scroll down here, you can rearrange it to be wherever you want it to be. So if whatever you want to have show up at the top is how you can arrange everything down at the bottom. My mouse is freezing on me. There we go. So you can arrange this so that the things that you want to help people see first will show up, and it'll show up to 3 different things. So I've got my Marketing Mentors, my Fired at 50 book, and my Practical Podcasting. And then I have other things in here below from my previous experience. So you guys can go on in and do that, arrange that yourself, and I'll show you how to do it. You just go in here where, see this, when you see this drop down, arrow, that means you can move the whole area of experience, everything, to some other location on your profile. But when you see this little line show up, this little line, you left click when you see that little sort of square thing with all the triangles on it. And you can then left click, come on, show up. Left click and hold it, and then you can move that wherever you want within the experience section. So that way you can sort of be ahead of LinkedIn, because LinkedIn just automatically saves everything in the order of year, right? So if you've got several things that you're doing now that are sort of open-ended, so maybe you started in 2008 but you're still doing it, maybe you started another one in 2010 but you're still doing it, and so then those will all show up according to what LinkedIn wants. So you need to go in and rearrange those to the way you want them to show up, and the same with your other experience. Okay, so the whole secret to LinkedIn, I'll repeat again, is in the groups. And you find the groups under the interests tab. And I'm going to go into my groups right now. And now if you are, I just heard today that you can join as many as 100 groups now. So I'm going to get you guys to test it out and see, because I'm on a paid platform, right? And I can join 100 groups on the paid platform. But if you guys are on the free platform, I want to see if that's really true. If you guys can join more than 50 groups. So if you join 52 groups and you don't have any problem and you get up to 60 groups, it's probably that you can go all the way to 100 groups. Now, there's two different kinds of groups. You've got your open groups and your closed groups. Your open groups, those are groups that when you click on them, and they will let you in, they will give you an entrance into those groups right away. A closed group, when you click on them to join, you have to wait to be approved. And it can take a couple of weeks to be approved. But here's the thing. If you're trying to join a group and it's an alumni group, like maybe from Yale University or something like that, they're only going to let alumni into that group. They will never approve somebody who's not gone to Yale. So they will check out your profile, and if they don't see on there that you've spent some time going to Yale, they won't ever approve you. So you'll have it'll just sit there dormant. So it's best not to even try to get into those kinds of groups. Now, just today, they launched this new welcome to the new LinkedIn groups. And it says here, join private communities, enjoy meaningful conversations, and get the latest ideas and news. We've updated the experience so you can get the most out of every visit. And we can take a quick tour. Now, see the most important conversations from your industry, interests and passions every day. So they're going to have a specialized selection of conversations from your groups. That's the groups that you belong to. Not my groups, but your groups, right? And you can see a complete list of the groups that you belong to. So if I click on this, it should show me a complete list of all my groups that I'm in right now. So up until today is the day they've launched all these changes. Up until today, you could only join up to 50 groups. So this is really fortuitous that we're doing this webinar today. So you can, here under this tab, you can find and join the groups that you'll love. Now, here's the thing. You want to join groups that would potentially have people in them that would be prospects for your business. So Wendy, for instance, I think you would probably want to make sure that you were joining groups of owners and top executives.
Right.
So those are the kinds of searches that you would want to be searching on LinkedIn for. And Diane, you would be wanting to search for probably mostly women. And so you probably want to get into some executive women's groups. Those are the kinds of groups that I would be searching to get into. Now, I'm just going to read this to you because it's all brand new for me too. This group is for anyone getting started with LinkedIn groups for the first time. It's a place for us to answer questions and help you find the most valuable professional community for you. This is a special community that the LinkedIn Groups team has created to help new members. If you have questions about how to use your group, please ask it here. We'll try to answer as many questions as possible, and we appreciate you keeping the conversation on topic and respectful. So we can ask to join. So I'm going to do that. So my request is pending. So this is getting started with groups, and they've got 952 members, which is a very small group. And I'll monitor that group for a while. So these are different groups, and each group is going to have different mantras, different guidelines, and things that they stand for and things that they want to accomplish. So this is the recruiter.com network. So this is recruiters. Recruiters are people that are looking for other people to go work for different businesses. So you might not want to join those groups. However, you might want to try them out. Look how many is in here, 700,000 members. It's a good group. You might find some good ones, Wendy. And you too, Diane. You might find some really good people in there for your businesses. Now this one, Consultant Network. This would be a good one for both of you. It's got over 300,000 members. It'll probably prove to be a good group for you. Now here's the thing. You want to find groups that would have your potential clients in them, and you want to make sure that they have more than 10,000 members in the group. And the reason for that is because as soon as you start to do Boolean searches, which I'm going to show you how to do very simplistically tonight, then you'll see that sometimes when you do your Boolean searches, you won't even come up with one person, or maybe you'll only come up with 10 people, or maybe only 3, which is a lot better to search through than 300, right? 300,000. So one thing that I do is I never join. So this is a request pending as well. So this Consultants Network is a closed group. So anytime you see that request pending, it's a closed group. Here's a real estate networking group, Insider Strategies. Well, a lot of realtors make a lot of money. So that's a good group to join.
But Christine, why would they allow us to join?
Because you can join any group as long as it's not an alumni group, like the Nurses Association or the Harvard University Association. Those groups are really.
But if it's real estate networking group, and I'm not in real estate, aren't they going to reject my my request?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And if they don't, if it just sits there, I just withdraw the request and look for another group.
Okay.
Look at, here's a really good one, Executive Suite. The purpose of the Executive Suite is executive level peer connections, trusted insight, and practical advice to help you sharpen your decision making and elevate your work, your company, and your career. This is going to have some very well paid people in it. So that would be another one to click on. And you see that so far they're all requests pending. The recruitment network, I sort of stay away from the recruiters because once you get into their group, then you'll have all these recruiters wanting to connect with you. And I don't know if that's really going to be beneficial for either one of you. Executive Suite, Vancouver Real Estate Group. Now let's see if there's Startup Specialist Group, online network for entrepreneurs. Startup Specialist Group, online network for entrepreneurs and startups in the largest moderated community for startups, mentors, founders, investors on LinkedIn. So that's over 100,000. So that might be a good one to check out. And here's a small business network, startups and enterprise entrepreneurs. This is a good one for both of you. Business and corporate networking. This is almost got 10,000, so it'd be worth it to check this one out. So now you get an idea of how you can go and check out groups. Now let's do some searches for groups. So see this little drop-down menu up here?
Yep.
You see that little arrow? You press on that and you go down here to groups. And then you type in small business. Look at that. They give you all this selection. Small business and independent consultant network, small business loans, help for small business, small business marketing network, small business accelerator, small business evolution. So you can go into these and look at each one of these, but I suggest you just click this little magnifying glass and it will show them all right here in front of you and list them all. And then you can see how many members are in the groups before you have to try and click on them.
Christine, do you have to be in premium?
No.
Okay.
That black thing is a premium program that I'm in, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
So here's Staples Small Business Network. Whoa, there might be some good people in there. You never know. But 126,000 is worth checking out. So you can see what happens when you ask to join. It's an open group. Look at that. Let me in. And your little arrow up here, this is your best friend on LinkedIn. So it takes you right back to your original search that you made. So now that it says view, that means that we're already in that group. And this one, Small Business Evolution, it says post. So I can post something in this group. I'm already in this group. It's got over 20,000, which is a good group. There's a small business forum, a group for small business. So you see how you can see right away whether it's worthwhile you even looking into that group.
Right.
And make sure that you've got groups that you're joining that have more than 10,000 or right around 10,000 members in them. Because what we're going to do is we're going to mine these groups. We're going to be searching for your key target market. So Diane, let's look for some women's groups, okay? Let's look for women in business. Look at that. Women in technology, photography, retail leadership. Channel, whoa. Let's try women in business. Wow, look at this. Women in Business Network, WIBN. So let's just do this. Keep wanting to call it an hourglass, but it's not. So women in accounting is 11,000, 20,000. So they're smaller groups. They're not as big as the other groups were, right? Golf for women in business, that might be a good one to join, even though it's only got 2,000 members. And you don't want to go to American Businesswomen, do you, Diana?
Actually, I had joined when I lived in Houston.
Okay.
I was part of the association.
So I'm every woman, social and business networking woman. So that might be a good one to check out.
You can have it if you want
Okay. So that gives you an idea, and there's lots of pages of these. Usually they have the biggest groups at the beginning, but I've found on occasion there's sometimes a big group buried way down in the list. So you can check out some of these women. Here's another way to check out women, and you type in lioness. Lioness is the female term for lion, and LION stands for LinkedIn Open Networker. So if you join a lioness group, then you are inviting people, other women, to connect with you who are supposedly like-minded. However, you have to be aware that some of them might be international. That's a good thing. Maybe you can both do business internationally with people, with your clients. I can do business internationally. I've got people that I've coached all around the world in different countries. So, and just using my computer and using Zoom or Skype. So it might be something for you to really think about. I was in the Lionesses Worldwide for a while. And I'm going to see if it's a closed group. Yeah, my request has been submitted. So it is a closed group. No, it's only got 4,000 people in there. But I see people in there that I know. I already recognize names of people in there already. So you take your back arrow, hit your back arrow, and go back to where your original search was. So I'm going to go into Lionesses and see the size of all the groups. There is also a networking company called Lioness, but it's spelled Lyon. So you have to be aware of that as well. So here's Lionesses Worldwide, 4,165. So these are small groups, right? They're not really that big. I might check out the Lionesses. I think that's why I left the group, because it was so small and I couldn't do any searches, because you do on a worldwide scale. But when you're in network marketing or in travel, that might be a good group for you to check out. But you just have to bear in mind it might not pan out because it's got so few members. So let's think, what are some other keywords that you think people would search for to find your ideal clients? Where would your ideal clients come from?
Well, sorry, go ahead.
But I can do mine internationally because new therapies in 17 countries.
Yeah, so that's great. So
what turn up international?
What about, okay, international. Oh, look at all these. Now let's just see how many members are in them. Look at, here's one that's 234,000. Woo! International Luxury Hotel Association.
No, because those are just all the people that I deal with every day anyway.
Oh.
They're not potential clients.
Okay. So international export, import, sales and retail apparel. That might be people that want to travel. International business. That's 99,000.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wealthy international businessmen. I've met a lot of Chinese and Korean wealthy people.
I don't do business travel, I do leisure, and I find that most of the people who make the decisions are women.
Yeah. Okay, so Lioness would be a good one for you.
Yes.
Business groups, those would be good for you. So That was just a thought, you know?
Mhm.
So international. Another thing is to check for, you don't want to go to travel because they'll be all in there, the same people looking for the same clients.
Right.
Owners. Let's see. Building Owners and Managers Association, Australian Business Owners and Entrepreneurs.
Good.
Let's see what they're up with. I hope you're making notes on some of these groups because they're
I am.
High Performance Sales Network. Whoa. It's only got 1,900. Okay. Oh, here's
Edmonton business owners.
Building Owners and Managers.
Mhm.
20,000. That was the Small Business Evolution. We've seen that before. Construction Business Owners Group. That's 19,000. Some of those guys have a lot of money to spend, and their wives. Coffee shop owners, mastermind, restaurant owners. And so you can go through and check out there's so many different pages of these groups.
Right.
Salon owners might be mostly women.
There you go, super yacht owners.
Super yacht, and that look good?
Wow.
Well, the super yacht owners, I wonder how they would be for travel, though. They're probably taking their yachts going everywhere. But then at the same time, maybe they don't want to take their yacht, and maybe their yacht's not big enough to travel around the world, so they would want to fly somewhere and then take a cruise. You never know. Look at this, Worldwide Harley-Davidson Owners Group. I don't know what kind of travelers they might be, but
Well, it costs a fortune to own a Harley Davidson, so I assume they got lots of money.
yeah, I think so. Roger and I were looking at a Harley just a couple years ago. 35,000, but it was totally decked out with everything.
Well, I know Harley Davidson owners, and they're all over 50.
Yeah, they've got money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can afford to do this. So that gives you some ideas of some searches. Are there any other topics you want me to search while we're doing this?
Golfers.
Golfers. Okay, just a minute. Okay, they're really small groups.
Yeah.
You might not. You might want to just go into that one that's got 2,200 in it and just see. Oh, this one, 34,000.
Like golf. Golf. Hey, that'd be cool.
That would be a good one for you.
Yeah.
Boy, some of these groups are really small. You can see how active golfers are online. Some of them might be good to check out because they're wealthy people on there. Yeah, they're really, all the rest of them are really small. Usually the biggest groups are on the first page.
Yeah.
Hey, any other things you want me to search? Spas? No, that would probably be too much close to travel.
Spas?
Spas, yeah.
Oh, they're perfect. I booked those, but yeah, that'd be a good idea. Well, I don't know. No, because that's destination.
Yeah. I was just thinking that ladies that go to spas have money.
Oh, they do, yes.
Travel. But ladies
I'll
that
check
go
it out.
Ladies that go to spas also might be interested in you, Diane. And
Yeah.
that they can take their spa with them wherever they go.
Exactly.
What do you think?
Yep.
Okay. What kind of sports do the wealthy do? Polo?
Pardon?
Polo?
No.
No?
Mostly golf and sailing. things of that nature. Skiing. The thing is with skiing is that we've got such great skiing right here. You can't. It's hard to book it elsewhere.
Yeah.
What about expensive cars?
Expensive cars. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah. Car clubs. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that'd be good. So look at this one here. I just did a sailing and search, and I've got your groups. There's one that's close to 10,000, 8,900.
Mhm.
So what was that? Cars?
Car clubs. Well, cars. Yeah.
Car Club India. They're really small.
Yeah.
How about luxury?
Yeah, that's a good search. Your luxury classic cars right there.
Look at that, 12,000.
Yeah.
This one is 21,000.
Oh, look at that ultimate luxury community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, there's some good ones there. Let's see, what else can we search for here? Anyway, you get a good idea of how to make
Yeah.
this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into one of my own groups, and I'm going to I'm just going to talk a bit about this group. So here's my groups. So this group here, the Marketing Enthusiasts, is my group. You're welcome to come join us in this group. It is an open group, so you don't have to wait to get approved. You can just click to join and get on in there. And it's full of all kinds of marketing people, and most of the people in that group are very, very, well, when you consider the fact that the average age of people on LinkedIn is 43 years, and the average income of people on LinkedIn is between 120 and 125,000 a year. So those people on the Marketing Enthusiasts, there's only 3,000 in my group though. It's a little bit on the smaller side.
Well, before our recession, I would have said oil and gas. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, another thing you could check out is gold and silver groups. You might find some interesting things there. Let's view our group settings here. Okay, so this is the Marketing Enthusiast. This is my group. If you want to check out the members, see when I hover my cursor over here, how it turns blue? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, when it turns blue, you click on it, and then what happens is they list all the members of the group. So now you can click on this little gear thing, and you can, as the manager, if it's your group, as the manager, I can remove people from my group if they're being obnoxious. But you can send messages to individuals. So you want to write a little message. And one of the common things I will say is, and it's not like it's an overwhelming thing. You just spend 15 minutes to a half hour once a day and send messages out to 3 to 5 people. And just do it consistently every day, just 3 to 5 people. And it takes time to build up rapport with people, but it like I said when I was talking the other day, it takes about 3 to 6 months to build up a really good following and start getting business from LinkedIn. But it takes consistent effort. It has to be consistent effort. So you can type, if you want, you can send a message to more than one person here, but right now we'll just pretend we're going to send a message to Nihal. But I'm going to go check out his profile first. It'll let me. No, I have to go back. On this page. So we might find some. So see how it turns blue here? I can go and check out Nihal's profile. So, or Neil. He works with a telemarketing company, managing director in the United Kingdom. I don't think he's going to be really interested in expensive travel or makeup or skincare. He's kind of young, right? So let's go down here. And this is another way to check people is you look down, I go and I check their headshots. And I look and see, okay, so, let's see, Tracy White. I wonder, let's get a better look at her. She's in Sydney, Australia. You might be interested in Nu Skin. So because I'm on the paid platform, I can send her an in-mail. But what you can do from this search, from the checking her out, you just hit the back arrow, go back into your search here, looking through the members, and just do that. Go into Tracy and send her a little message and just say, hey, Tracy, I found you. Your profile caught my eye. We're both in a marketing enthusiast group. I'd love to know more about what inspired you to start doing whatever it is she does, right? And with me, because of my job as my business is LinkedIn, I always ask people what inspired you to start using LinkedIn. And when you ask them an open question like that, they'll get back to you. And I have to be very careful. We have to be very careful that we don't pitch at people. We don't get sounding salesy. And so when you get into the members of the group, you want to start thinking how I can search the members. What can I do to search the members? So I'm going to go into a different group that I'm not the manager of right now, because I want to make sure that you guys are going to see the same thing in the group that I see. There's my groups. So let's just go into .NET people. So this group has 189,000 people in it. I'm a member of the group. And so what I want to do is I want to search the members. So the members is right here. So I'll go into the members. Now, I'm going to have to experiment just a bit here and figure out how to search. I have to do a search in the group for people. This window here is in a different position.
Didn't it used to be on the right-hand side
Yeah,
of that?
on the right-hand side, you could just do a search.
Yeah.
But it's not there. So I'm just going to scroll down a little bit and see, invite others about this group. There's the members. Don't tell me they've taken it away.
It used to be right along there where you've got your cursor now, and it would be on the right-hand side of that window, of that little.
Yeah, and you could just go into a search.
Yeah. Oh.
Discover, let's see.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay, let's just try. We're in here. Let's see what it shows here. So you saw where I clicked on that little gear, right?
Yeah.
So this takes me right back into .NET People. And remember, you can leave the group right here if you want. Looks like group rules, members. Bring your connections into the invite those who see the best conversations and relevant jobs in this group. Finish. So you can start a conversation right here. Their job. So you can do an advanced search. Let's try this. Great. Now this is something that a lot of people don't know about how you can search for people on LinkedIn. So the keywords you want to be searching for might be retirement, and luxury, and owner. Okay, and then we go down to location. Instead of just saying anywhere, it could be in or near, and you can choose United States. So let's just choose United States. We can choose another country if we wanted, but we'll just try that, okay? Click on search. So LinkedIn is going to suggest, I can show all the results. Now Steve Kodad, the National Feng Shui trainer, Feng Shui, that's how you say it. So we've got, this gal is a broker owner, she's a home-based professional. So here we can filter because we can only show people in our group. So let's filter here. And they're only going to show people that are in our groups. So these are some posts that she's done. And she's a group member of one of the groups that I'm in. If I click on Patricia's profile, I can scroll down her profile and I can see what group she's in way down here somewhere. There we are. And I can see that she's in the marketing, PR, and sales. And I think we're both in that group. So then I can go on the free platform and I can find her in this group here. No, clicked on the wrong group. Happy to connect. I thought there was something strange going on there. So I'm going to check her groups again. You never invite anybody to connect with you if you do not know them. So I usually wait until I go to a networking meeting and I meet them, or I've connected with them through the groups. Now this is another thing you can do. Because I'm looking at her profile through my profile, I can write a recommendation for her. And the great thing about this is if you go and write recommendations for people that you've done business with, especially if they're business people, you recommend them. That speaks reams, way more than endorsing somebody. I've got well over 200 recommendations now, and all my recommendations have come to me, except one. I only have ever asked for one recommendation, and I happened to be at a Womanition meeting actually, and this woman said to me, we were talking to a couple of other ladies, we were in a group before the meeting started, and she said, oh, I did this and this and this on LinkedIn, and I got a new client, and it was so exciting. She said, you got to talk to Christine. And I said, would you write me a recommendation on that? So that's the only time I've ever asked. But usually what I do is I go in to each person and I find if I've done business with them, I go down to where that is so we can write a recommendation. In fact, I'll just quickly show you how you can do that. So if I want to recommend this person, where did that go? They've changed this. Oh my gosh! I can't find all my things that I used to do. He's given 4 recommendations and he's received 9 recommendations. So if you can't write a recommendation here, you can manage your recommendations under your little tiny picture over here. And this little tiny picture, you just wait till that drop down menu comes down. Then you go down here to privacy and settings. And LinkedIn always makes you sign in again. And the reason for that is to double protect your profile. They had somebody a couple years ago hack into LinkedIn, so they've put this double protector on so that people can't hack it anymore. So we want to write a recommendation. So here we are, manage your recommendations. So you can see your received and your given, and then you can give recommendations right here. So if you've got somebody you've done business with, you can go right here, and who do you want to recommend? I'll put, oops. So say I wanted to write a recommendation for Diane. Then this, as soon as I write the person's name in there, they, see, Diane's been on my podcast show, so usually once people have been on my podcast show, at some point I go in and write them a recommendation. So I worked with Diane in different groups, or I worked with Diane, but we were at different companies. So that would be the most appropriate one for Diane and I. And what were your positions at the time? So my position was executive director at the LinkedIn Marketing Mentoress, and Diane's was independent distributor at New Celerity International. And then I can write 2 or 3 sentences that are heartfelt about how I can recommend Diane and what she does. And then down here, this email gets sent to Diane, and this is what will appear, what Diane will see in her email. So, but I can say, hi, Diane. And I can put my own words in here if I want. I don't have to use this, but if you're in a hurry, go ahead and use it. And then you just click send. But I'm going to cancel this right now because I don't want to take time out of our little webinar here to think for a minute on what I'm going to write. Because I like to make sure that what I write is honest and from my heart. So you can also ask for recommendations, but this is something I do not recommend. I have so many people on LinkedIn who ask me for recommendations, and I go, all right, I met you once at a networking meeting. I have no idea how good you are at your business. Nobody's recommended you to me. I don't know anything about you. How can I recommend you? So I can't give a recommendation for somebody that I haven't done business with, or that somebody else I know really well has done business with and they recommend them to me, right? Right. So that's the qualifications I give for writing recommendations. So you can click on how many recommendations you've received. So this is my recommendations I've received, and the recommendations I've given, and there will be a whole list of recommendations I've given to people. So I'm always proactive, because what happens when you write a recommendation for somebody, now I hope it doesn't change this on LinkedIn, but they would receive my recommendation and they would, of course, you get a recommendation from somebody and you go, oh my goodness, I want to accept this recommendation. And then you click accept, and then it gets uploaded downloaded into your LinkedIn profile. And then what LinkedIn does, as soon as you have accepted, or the person has accepted, LinkedIn then turns around and invites them to recommend you back. So that's how I've gotten all of my recommendations, most all my recommendations, all except one, maybe two, because there was another lady who just wrote a recommendation spontaneously for me when I was first on LinkedIn, and it was such a nice, pleasant surprise that she wrote that recommendation for me. So I want to go get back into the groups here.
So Christine, where was it that you went under to do the recommendation? To the right, isn't it?
Yeah, to the right, underneath your little headshot here, this little tiny picture of you.
Okay.
Then the drop-down menu comes down. And you can actually manage your whole profile and all your settings from this privacy and settings menu. Do you want me to go over that a little bit for you guys?
Sure.
Okay. So you can change and add email addresses. You can change your password. You can change your picture in here. You can add another phone number. So this is where you put your phone number in here, and then it'll show up in that little tab right below where your picture is on the profile. So if you don't have a phone number on there, be sure you put one in, because that's really, I can't tell you how many times I have not been able to find somebody's phone number, and I've gone and looked it up in their LinkedIn profile. So I've got quite a few different email addresses that I use. I need them to send a confirmation email on that. So I've got several, and so you just set one up as your primary email address. And the reason I've got all my emails on there is because there will be people that have one of those email addresses, but they might not have my marketing mentors email address. And so I won't get any messages from them on LinkedIn. But if they have any one of these emails, I'll still be able to connect with me or communicate with me on LinkedIn. However, those do not all show up in my profile. So I'm going to close this. If I go to my profile page, the only email that shows up in my contact is my marketing interest email and my Eastlink email, because it's part of my IM. So those are the only two that they'll see in my drop-down menu. And because I live in Kalmar, I figure, who knows Kalmar? They might think that's in Timbuktu. So I put Edmonton, Alberta, because I'm not too far outside of Edmonton.
Christine, what was that thing that said send confirmation?
Oh, that's when you add an email. When you add an email, they will send a confirmation email to this. LinkedIn will send a confirmation email to this email address. And then you have to go to that email and click accept.
Right.
In order for it to be accepted in LinkedIn.
Okay.
And I've been having some challenges with my practical podcasting website lately, so I've been working on that one. So all of these will come to, so if you put any of emails you enter in here, they're going to ask for a confirmation. You can manage your personal account here. You can view any purchase history. You can see where you've signed in for your active sessions. So there's several different tabs here that you can click on, all kinds of other areas that you can click on to get information and to do editing in your profile. So if you don't want to get a lot of emails, you go through this and make sure that you turn off certain emails. You can manage who you're blocking right here, and you can block people so they can't view your profile and give you any more grief. You can manage who can discover you by your phone number. You can manage your recommendations, edit your public profile, edit your profile. Now here's something. Change your profile photo and visibility. Now this is something, nope, that's not the one I want. That's a different one. Just hang on, I'll go back here. Show, hide, view your profile, manage your profile, discover, so that you can see the connection. Okay, edit your public profile. So that's what people can see on your public profile when they click on it. If they're not connected to you. And LinkedIn only ever shows the 500 plus connections. They don't show it any other way. And I think that's a good thing, because then anybody who has 500 plus is seen as a center of influence. That's why you need to have 500 plus, because then you're seen as a center of influence. Now, let's go back here. Okay, select what others see when you viewed their there we go. Okay, that's what I was looking for. So your name and headline, this is the one that's recommended. I have so many people who want to connect with me. If they do not show their headshot, I will not connect with them, even though I'm what we call a lioness. I won't. And if I'm totally anonymous, I will definitely not connect with anybody who's got anonymous on their profile. So you want to make sure that people can see your headshot. This is the one that LinkedIn recommends, and this is the one that I recommend too. I make decisions. I always click save changes just in case. People make decisions on who they're going to connect with by their headshot. Remember we talked about the 3-second rule? Boy. Now what I want to do is go into your communications, because this is huge. This is where you're going to set your frequency of emails. So your messages from other members, you click the pencil. Do you want to get invitations to connect? Yes, I want invitations to connect. Invitations to join groups? No email. I don't want anybody inviting me to join their groups. I want to join my own groups. Messages from connections. I will receive an individual email, because when you're in the groups and you want to message your individual connections, you want to be able to do that. And if you click no email, then it will shut off your ability to be able to send emails to individuals in the groups. In mails, introductions, and open profile messages, no email. Actually, I'm going to put that to individual email, because then people can introduce me. New connection suggestions you can do by individual email, or you can select what you want on your drop-down menu. Profiles that are sent to you, I've got a weekly digest. Job suggestions from connections, no email. I don't want any jobs, thank you very much. and then you just click Save Changes. And you work your way down through all of the updates and news. Do you want network updates? Yes, but a weekly digest is fine. Connections in the news, automatic. LinkedIn Pulse, weekly digest. And that, I'm not making any changes on that, so I'll just go back. And you can work through that on your own. Push notification settings. Messages from other members. Individual invitations to connect, yes. And messages from other members, yes. I will accept those. And just notifications, you check off the boxes of the ones that you want. Select the types of messages you're willing to receive. Select who can send you invitations. Turn on off invitations to participate in the research. Turn on off personal email. Groups, companies, and applications. So you can turn on off a lot of this stuff. So if you don't want to get that information, you're just purely there to build relationships with people, and you don't want a whole bunch of people you don't know bugging you. You can set all your settings back here however you want. So that's just a brief overview. I'm not going to go into a lot of depth with that. Come on, I want to go into. So when you want to get into your groups, just go to interest and click on groups. And I'm going to tell you something about groups. I'm just going to slide my chair back a bit and get comfortable for a minute. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Too far because I get too far from my microphone. Okay, you have an open group and you have a closed group. Either one. Those are the two different types of groups. I recommend that everybody start their own group. And here's why. Because it's a great lead-in to get a conversation started when you go into the groups and start researching the profile. So if you're going in there and you're doing a search in the groups, man, oh man, it's going to be, it's hard to think of things to say, to type to everybody. So if you go in there and say, hey, I found your profile in the group, it really stood out, and it caught my eye, and I wondered if you could share a little bit more about what inspired you to use LinkedIn, for instance. And I've also started a group of my own, and as I was reviewing your profile, I thought you might be very interested to come and join us. So, and take part in the discussion. So what you do in your group, you set up your group, and then you start a discussion in that group. And in that discussion, you talk about something that's very controversial. Like, for instance, the original discussion I had in my marketing enthusiast group was, can a highly qualified lead ever be worth $500? And then I went and I used Survey Gizmo, set up a survey with 5 questions that they would go in, they could click on the link after they read my discussion that I started. You click on the link for this to take this survey, but with Survey Gizmo, you can set it up in such a way that they only answer the first 3 questions, and first 4 questions. And then on the 4th question, if they answer it the right way, then they can, then another window will open up, and they'll leave their contact information, their email and their phone number and their name. And that last question, that 4th question would be, like on mine, it was, I would be willing to pay $10 to $25 per highly qualified lead. And then the next category, so A, B, C, D, or $25 to $100, or $100 to $200, or $200 to $500, that kind of thing, right? And if they answered one of the last 2 categories, $100 to $200 or $200 to $500, then it would open up the next window automatically so that they could leave all their contact information. So this is a really great way to be very subtle about mining your LinkedIn. By
Christine, sorry.
Yeah.
Where is that? Where is that application
that application. So
for the questions?
oh, the questions, you just go to surveygizmo.com, and
Yeah.
I believe you get a 30-day free trial. It is a paid platform. The reason that I use Survey Gizmo is because you can set it up that way so that that last window will open up when they answer that fourth question the way I want, and then leave their contact information. You can also use Survey Monkey, which is free, but you cannot set it up so that the window opens for them to leave their information. So it costs, the Survey Gizmo is about $35 a month. But if you're using it on a regular basis to do searches, it's worth the $35 a month. And to me, it really makes a good amount of sense because people don't want to be pitched at, they don't want to be hit on, so to speak. You know how you feel when somebody hits on you.
Yeah.
Not a guide, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're trying to get you to buy their stuff or look at their stuff, and it just turns you off. So SurveyMonkey is free, but you can't set it up so that you can get their information. And Survey Gizmo you can set it up, but it is a paid platform. So that's the difference between those two. So when you set up your group, you need to think really carefully about your group. You might want to talk to me. Now, that while I'm talking about that, you each get a free 30-minute one-on-one with me after this webinar. So we can schedule that right at the end of this webinar. We can schedule a 30-minute one-on-ones for each of you, or we can wait a week and then schedule them for you, whichever you want to do. So
Actually, I was thinking more of that for my husband. He could use that.
so
But I could too. Yeah.
that we can just work one-on-one. We don't have anybody else in the room, so to speak. So if you set up a closed group, you can always decide later to set it up as an open group. You can change it. But if you set it up as a closed group, what it does is it closes all the discussion threads. So people cannot view all the discussion threads before they decide to join the group. They have to join the group. They have to request to join the group. Then you have to accept them before they can go and see what the discussion threads are. So you usually have people that'll come into your group that are going to stay with you longer if you have a closed group. But if you have an open group, people can go and they can look at your group and they can see your whole discussion thread before they join. So they can scroll down through the discussions, and if something doesn't catch their eye in there, then they're going to go, oh, I just thought of another search. Lawyers.
I already thought of that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I do a lot of lawyers.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good, Wendy.
No, well, I used to work for a law firm.
No, I don't. The way you put it, you do a lot of lawyers.
Oh, sorry. No, I don't.
You know the doctors in the United States make huge money too. So
Yeah, but doctors are really, really cheap. And that's the truth. They are so cheap.
even the U.S. ones.
Every lawyer I've ever met.
Lawyer, you mean doctor?
Oh, sorry, every doctor I've ever met, yes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
They're very cheap.
Well, my daughter was dating a doctor who was a specialist down in Florida, my youngest daughter, and he was a multi-millionaire. Beautiful big home. He was just, whoa.
Well, and that may be for American lawyers because they're not with Medicare.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, you're right there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just thinking American lawyers.
Yeah, maybe I'll check that out for U.S. lawyers.
Doctors.
Sorry, what the hell have I got on my mind? U.S. doctors, yes.
Yeah.
There.
Okay. So, Diane, you might want to look at female doctors, U.S. female doctors.
Yeah.
And female lawyers, women lawyers. There's probably groups for them. And if there aren't, just go check out law groups and then search for the women in the group.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got these two different types of groups, right?
Yeah.
What generally happens is you'll have a lot of people coming and joining and leaving or a lot of people viewing if you have an open group. And then a lot of people will view and then not join. But on the other hand, if you have an open group and they can see your discussion thread and you're watching it every day, then your discussion thread could very well attract them because you can upload comments from your blog and post discussions. Now, as an owner of a group, here's the pièce de résistance. You can pitch till the cows come home to the members of your group once a week.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well anymore, Christine.
Okay. You can pitch to the people. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
You can pitch to the people in your group once a week as the owner of a group. So, and now LinkedIn really watches this. They really stay on top of this. So for instance, this is Thursday. So say it's 7:28. So at 8 o'clock, you send out a message, post a message in your group, inviting them to something, right? And then you go to try to make another post next Thursday at 7 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock in the evening. LinkedIn will not let that post go through. You need to go and wait, make sure that you post it, wait until 8 o'clock next Thursday to post again. So they're very careful that you only post once a week to your group and they manage it to the second.
Okay.
Now, here's another thing about open groups. If you've got an open group and you decide that you don't like the open group style, that you would prefer to have a closed group, you cannot change it. You cannot change it. Once it's an open group, you can't change it back to a closed group. So my recommendation is to start your group as a closed group and see how that works for you. And if you're finding that you're having a hard time getting people to sign up in your group, then change it to an open group. But just remember, you can't change it back to a closed group if you ever decide. And here's another thing about the group. Once you set up a group, if you decide that you want to change, you can edit the group, you can change things in the group. But if you ever decide you want to delete that group and start a new group, a different group, LinkedIn will not let you delete your group. Your group will always be there. So this is why we need to put in a lot of thought when we're setting up a group. I really think that both of you could set up some very sharp, unique groups. And you can, so you need to think about a logo. So like on my group, my marketing enthusiast group, we have a logo. It's not a fancy logo, but it's set up on there. I didn't like the colors. I wanted my son, this is when I very first got started with LinkedIn. My son helped me set up this group, and I said, I don't like those colors. I said, I want hot pink. He said, well, not if I'm setting it up.
That's not fair.
So anyway, so I'm stuck with that logo. And he just really likes those colors for some reason.
I like the logo.
Do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Hot pink would be better, but yeah, I like the logo.
Yeah. So you see all of these different groups, they all have designed some kind of a logo. So one of the things that you can do if you want to get a really inexpensive logo is you can go, oh, this is my husband, my son's group. My son set up, this is his own group. He likes those colors. He's got the same colors in the logo. But you can go to Fiverr, Fiverr.com, and you can get somebody to design a logo for you. Really inexpensively, way less than what it would cost to get somebody in North America to do it for you. And unfortunately, it's really unfortunate. My Fiverr gal actually lives in the UK, and she does all my artwork for me now. Sometimes it's only $5, sometimes it's $10. I just had her design a new business card for me, and she charged me $12.50 because I had to change the picture and have her put special marks on it so that when it goes to the printer knows where to cut them off, cut the cards. So that's a way that you can save some money. So I'm going to go into this sticky branding group and just see what I can find out here. I'm really baffled about this members. We used to be able to go in and search a group.
Christine, you know where the box where it says members, try going over to the right-hand side and see if anything comes up. No, nothing comes up. Okay, never mind.
No, I'm really baffled. This just happened today. You can go into the group rules. Oh, here's members down here. Let's check on this one. That you may be interested in, I don't know. Man, a live catfish on a crutch. So I think what LinkedIn wants us to do is they want us to use the advanced search system. So if we click on this advanced search up here and start practicing searching for people, then we can, here we are, advanced. You can click down there too, and you want to search for people. And you can search group members. So let's uncheck everything, but just search the group members. Oh, that's what they've done. Yay. So first and second connections. And we can search different countries, and we can add a country. So let's say we search United States and Canada. Oh, come on. Maybe Greater New York. Well, that would be in the United States, so we don't need to worry about it. And we can search companies. So maybe there's some companies we want to search. IBM and Microsoft, let's try those. So this is all part of our simple Boolean search. What industry? Let's see. Management, consulting, financial services. Well, that might be an interesting one to search. A lot of wealthy financial services people out there. And we can specify what groups. IBM, Harvard Business Review, sales and marketing executives. Okay, so we've got that. So they have brought, look at this. These are the people that they've come up with in this search. All these are the people from the groups on LinkedIn. So did you see how I did that?
Are they from your group? Your groups or just any group?
Groups that I'm in.
Okay.
Okay. So then what you can do is you can click on the person's name. I'm going to click this little drop down. Great. So they haven't taken away the fact that you can send them an email. You should be able to send them an email. Don't connect with them if you don't know them. But go check out their profile first.
Christine, you can't send an in-mail, can you, if you're not in the premium?
No, if you're not in the premium, but they call it in-mail sometimes, and you're on the free platform.
Okay.
So you go in, this Carolyn Pace, she's a commercial finance broker at Empowered Business Financing, LLC. And let's just go down and see. And you can read more about her if you wanted to. I just want to see her groups. So the whole thing is you want to go down and see if she's in any groups that you're in. And if she's not in any groups that you're in, then join one of her groups. Look, it tells you how many members are in each of the groups that she's in. So you want to join one of those groups. Healthcare industry, executive roundtable. I usually write their name down. So you get in, you join it. It's obviously an open group because it doesn't say anything about me being pending, does it? Took me right into where I can start making comments. Wow. I'm going to go back into my groups. I really like this advanced search tool. That was great. It got us down to, what, less than 10 people. 7 results. So you see why you need to have lots of members in the groups that you join, because they all get narrowed down. So this is out of several groups, different groups. They're not necessarily all in the same group. So do you want me to go through that again, how to set up this advanced search? Because you're going to get the recording. You can follow the recording. Okay. This is really good. I'm glad that we're getting a chance to go through this because, Boy, these are really top-notch people. These are highly paid people. I'm reading a little bit about each one. Oh, man. I don't know, Lena might not be as highly paid as the others, but she's in IBM Global Financing. You can usually tell by how professional their headshot is, how much money they have. Isn't that true? But at least I find it to be very true. I'm concerned for my tax. I've got, with these changes, they have written a program, and we have clients that, like IBM and that big companies, that we do help them. We set up groups for them on LinkedIn, and then we invite people to come join their groups. And we get up to 2,000 or 4,000 people a month to join these groups. And oh my gosh, this is going to be really hard trying to do searches through the groups. See, look at all the new groups I just joined. Pending, 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 pending. Even my Lioness, I would have thought Lioness would have been an open group. So these.
Where'd you get to this list?
Oh, this is in that little gear wheel. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to take my back arrow. See this little gear? Right there?
Where are you? No. Oh, it's under the picture. Okay, yeah.
Under the black box. You click that, and you can go to saved searches or search jobs or your profile organizer in this. Ah, come on, what happened? How come it didn't go into my groups this time? Oh, this is really. Well, when I clicked on it before, it said your groups, right? Well, if that doesn't work, you can get into it through here. You can always get your groups through there. And then you click this, there's the gear wheel. This is the little gear wheel that I clicked. There we go. And you can go and see all your groups. And you see the ones that say member settings. This is something that we need to be aware of as well. Manager settings means that I'm managing that group. I'm a manager in the group, or owner of the group. So we'll go into this .NET People member settings. So all groups, if you go in there, you can leave the group if you click here or not. And you can click on this little arrow. When you click on that little arrow, it takes you to this window. And this is where you can share an update with the group. So if you've done a post or something that you want to share with the group, you can just put it on here.
Christine,
Yeah.
in that one thing where you can share a post, I put a post in there on one of my groups, and it was removed by the person who managed the group, and she moved it over to advertising because she thought it was advertising.
That's right. If it's a least bit pitchy, see all this, the rule of 10, we need to remember the rule of 10. We can repost 6 posts that other people have written that are really great information. So it's all about educating and informing people. And then 3 of those posts are ones that we've written ourselves, a blog, from our blog. 1 is a pitch, only 1 in 10. And whenever you set out a pitch, it goes into the promotion section of the group. So all the other ones should be able to go into the discussion section. Just that 1 would go into the promotion section.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about educating and informing, and you can have your link to your website at the bottom. But as soon as we start saying book your seat now or anything like that in it, it's considered a pitch. To book your cruise now, or to book your trip now, or that kind of thing. We have to avoid that in those 9 posts. But you can put your website, and then when they go to your website, then that's when they can find the pitch or find the information about booking something with you. So you want to topics that think about when you're going to set up your posts that you want to put into the group or into your own group, and you want to set something about what is keeping your ideal client awake at 2 o'clock in the morning. What is keeping them awake at 2 o'clock in the morning? So if it's somebody who's trying to book a really great exotic trip, what is it about booking that trip that's keeping them awake in the morning at 2 o'clock? So if it's somebody that's looking for skincare, and they're lying awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're thinking, oh, I'm looking so old. What can I do to help improve myself? That might be something that they're thinking. But you guys both know what your ideal client might be thinking and why they're coming and talking to you. Diane, you probably have a lot of boomers, right?
That's what you said there.
So we're in this .NET people group, right? Now, by going into it the way that we did before, I think we found the answer here. We can click on this search button, and this is where we can search the group. So then you can search here. So this .NET people has 189,000. So let's just do a simple search. Because it's a techie group, let's see, I'm going to just search for owners and CEOs. We'll just see what happens here. Oh, there's the magnifying glass. So how many came up in this search? Manager's choice, all discussions, following. Search results. So we got a few people. Now this guy has put his profile up wrong because he's put his logo in there, and that is totally wrong. He will eventually get his profile shut down. He'll be sent to LinkedIn jail. I got sent to LinkedIn jail when I first started LinkedIn. I should have told the gals that the other day. I got on LinkedIn And you know how where there's this area where you have your connections and you can add connections and they give you all these suggested people that you might want to, that you might know. Well, I figured, oh, look at all these people. LinkedIn figures that we should connect. So I just went click, 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 hundreds of them. Well, if you get IDK'd, and the letter I, the letter D, the letter K means I don't know. If you get IDK'd by 5 people or more, you will have your account sent to LinkedIn jail.
How do you get out?
It's frozen and you can't get into your account. Mine was shut down for about 10 days.
Wow.
And so then what I had to do is I had to get in touch with LinkedIn. They asked me to print out the entire terms of use, sign them, scan them, and send them back to them. And I had to send them also a photocopy of my driver's license so they knew I was a real person.
Good heavens.
So don't connect with, don't ask anybody to connect with you do not know. That's why. So I know what LinkedIn jail is. So this is great. You can get, so it says show more items. This is all that came up in this search. So this is great. We did that search for this big group of over 100,000 and that's all that showed up in the search.
Yeah, but it's just giving you topics on CEOs, not actual CEOs.
Yeah, Syed.
He's a research coordinator at a company.
Yeah.
He's talking about CEOs.
Well, these are guys in the groups. Web developer, setting compliance. They've got part of their summary. I chat Microsoft CEO out why Apple. You could be right, but I don't think that these are companies. These are individual groups. Okay, let's try this. They're displaying them totally different than they used to. They used to just display the profile and you would see the first few lines of what you'd see in their regular profile, right?
Yeah, this is just discussions.
That's what it looks like, but you still got the people there. And they're in the .NET people. Okay, let's try this here. You used to be able to click on the members and you could go in to do a search of the people. There's a members list. Let's see what happens when we click invite others. Search connections by name. No, don't want to do that. These are all people that are members of the group. Well, I think that what they've done is they've taken that search capability away from LinkedIn.
It doesn't look like you can search by occupation.
No, you can't. Not that way. You have to use the advanced search system.
Yeah.
That will search, and then you can search your groups that way.
Yeah.
Like what we did before, and that will work just as well. It will find the people that we're looking for. It's a little bit different. That's all. I never search anywhere. I always take location in or near, and then I select a country that I want to do searches in. So if I want to just search people in Canada, I can set it for that. If I want to search people in Australia, I can. So if you want to just search people in the US, so if you're looking for doctors, you want to search people in the US, and you're searching people, keywords we're searching for is doctors. Let's just see what happens. You have to go down here and click search.
Might want to take the S off.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Now that's going to search all the people on all of LinkedIn, but let's see if we just change it to the group members only, okay? We just want to do group members. And so they'll search the members of the groups. Click search. Now this shows that we got 6,100 results for doctor. Only show people in the hospital and healthcare industry. You could do that. You could filter it for that.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got at least 10 pages, probably more.
Oh, look at this office space doctor.
Yeah.
Might want to put physician.
Okay, let's try that.
Well, it's okay.
You're funny. Boom. There's lots of great ideas that we can use here. Now these little icons, you know what these are all for, right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, this is messages like InMail that's come into your email box on LinkedIn. So these are messages that people have sent to you. And this is the posts that people have done. So Betska has published a new post, Universal Law #1, the law of service. She's a really good blogger. So I usually share her stuff, and it's counted as one of my 6 out of 10 things that somebody else. Doug Dickerson is a really great poster as well. He posts stuff usually to do with leadership and salesmanship. And Ranka Burzan, I know her really well. I usually repost her stuff as well. She's an organizer, but she writes great stories about procrastination and things like that. So I feel that it applies to just about anybody. And then people will like all your stuff. So that's what this little bell is for. This with the plus it'll show a little number beside it if you've got people that have requested to connect with you. And if you're a lion, Lion, and you join a lioness group, then you might want to check this on a regular basis. And when you first join a lioness group, you'll get a lot of connections. Usually that's what I found anyway.
You get a lot of what?
A lot of requests to connect.
Oh.
But it only happens for a little while till everybody in the group has gotten your name, and then it slows down so you don't get a trickle. So,
Christine, I have one question about posts. I saw a post on LinkedIn that I thought I really wanted to read, and I didn't have time, so I forgot about it. And then when I went back to find it, I didn't know how to search for it because I didn't remember who the person was who posted it. Is there a way to bookmark something like that or search for it?
Okay, let's just see. I can't remember. I don't usually save my posts.
Because sometimes there's something you want to read, but you don't have time.
Yeah.
You want to do it later.
So I'm following her. Here, you can like it, you can comment. One of the things is, if you share somebody's stuff, it will continue to show up here because other people see 3 people like your photo, likes your update. So people will start clicking on stuff that you post because they like it. So it will reappear up here again. But I have not, to tell you quite honestly, have not figured out how to favorite a post. They don't have that on LinkedIn. I haven't before. I thought I would check it out just now because I thought, oh, maybe they've changed something and then we can favorite posts, but we can't.
Okay.
But if somebody is a really good poster like Betska K. Burr, she's a coach. She has an international business and she travels all over the world teaching people how to be life coaches. She has a really good certification program, excellent program. And she wrote an excerpt in my Fired at 50 book. And we have an arrangement so that people who buy my book and read my book and are looking for coaching for their business can contact her because her students have to do so many hours of coaching time, practice coaching time, and some of it is paid and some of it is non-paid. So it's a good opportunity for people to get some coaching, which we all need. There was a time in my life when I was starting out that I had 3 coaches all at the same time. They were all helping me in different areas. Yeah. I would never be where I am today without my coaches. I would never be where I am with LinkedIn today without my first coach that I had that helped me on LinkedIn, and that was my son. So I was really fortunate, but if I wanted to really get good with my LinkedIn, in fact, after I'd been using LinkedIn for a few years, there was a really big name guru on LinkedIn came up to the Vancouver area to speak. And I earned a free seat there because I helped market that program. I knew the guy that was bringing him up, was sponsoring him. So he said that I would get a seat if I brought in so many people, filled so many seats. And so I ended up getting a free seat. And I was so disappointed because he just came and he just said a couple of LinkedIn tips, and the rest of the time he talked about Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie. I went, oh no. Well,
We can go buy their books.
I've got their books and I've read their books several times.
So have I.
So I was just a teeny bit disappointed, and it's not like me to feel that way. I did come away with some really great information, and so some of the things that he talked about with regard to relationship building and whatnot, I use today in my workshops and webinars. But Betska is an awesome lady. So if you get my book, Fired at 50, you can get her contact information so that you can get some help with some coaching if you need it. She's a really great gal. You'd really enjoy her. So I want to make sure I've answered all your questions here. We got started a little bit late, so we're a little bit over time. So let's just go and revamp or review some of the things. Now we've got the 2 different kinds of groups, right? The closed group, the open group. The recommendation from the marketing mentors is to set up your own group eventually. If you don't want to do it right now, that's fine. Take your time. But when it comes time to set up your group, really think it through and make sure that you are setting up the kind of group that is best for you. And if you set up a closed group first and then decide to open it, that's perfectly fine. But remember, you can't reverse it if you set up as an open group, and you can't turn it into a closed group. And you might want to check out SurveyMonkey or Survey Gizmo. So check them both out and see the differences between the two. I like Gizmo because of the fact that you can set up that last page, just pop up, and they'll leave all their information for you. We've found it's just a great way to track your clients and then, or your prospects. So it's like you're filling your pipeline, and the way it is with sales and marketing, right, is to make sure you keep that pipeline full. You've always got new people coming into your pipeline, so you can send them an email if they leave an email. If they send a phone number, you can pick up the phone and give them a call. And then you can start asking them some questions about their responses in the survey that they just took. In fact, I've had people take the survey and say in the survey, where can I get more information about this? I'm totally interested. And they just did the highest number on all of the categories and said that in the response on the last page. And then some of them didn't even take the survey, but they would take part in the discussion. And they'd say, this is a great article. I'd really like to know more about how I can get some of these great leads. So then I would just be able to private message them in the group. So you can go into the profile and send them a private message through the groups. You know, when you click on that little envelope,
Yeah.
you make sure. You both know where to find that envelope, right? In the groups? Diane?
Find the what?
The little envelope so you can send a message. I'm going to show you here again. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Oh. Sorry. So you go in here into the, and then see this little gear up here in the blue?
Where's the click?
This little gear. I went into here and I clicked groups.
Right.
And you can either click my groups or you can click this little gear. If you click my groups, then you just get a list of your groups and you can click on one of those. Or you can go into this gear and you can get all of your entire list and go into your member settings. Now, I didn't tell you about this. Oh, I was going to tell you about this. So all the groups have member settings in the back. And you only want to have no more than 2 or 3 groups that you actually want to interact with. So one of those groups will be your own group. And the other groups, you want to turn off. You want to turn off most all the emails that you're going to get. So you can leave the email address here, or you can put in a new email address. You can change it to one of your other emails. I'm going to leave that one. I don't want an email every time that somebody has a new discussion. I don't want a digest of all the activity of this group. But I do want to allow the group manager to send me an email, because then I will be able to send an email to the members in the group. I want to allow members of this group to send me messages via LinkedIn as well. But even there are some groups that I don't want the manager to send me an email, and I just check this one and it still works. Okay. This group is I think it's .NET people. No, LinkedIn strategies, yeah. Yeah, that's why I wanted the manager to be able to send me a message on this group, because I want to know all I can about LinkedIn. So be sure and go into all of your groups that you're a member of, and as you become a member, and set your settings in the back. And then you just save changes. You can also leave the group down here. And that's another thing you have to realize. What I had to realize is that I'm not in, once I join a group, I don't have to stay with that group forever. You're just in those groups to mine them. And if you can't find anybody in there that you're looking for, then leave the group. Go find another group. There's millions of groups. Well, I say millions. It's probably a few 100,000 groups. I don't, maybe a million. I don't know if it's got there, it's not quite that high yet. So any other questions?
Kind of a stupid question I have. I mean, I know a bit of the difference between update and post, but you can't put too many words in an update, can you?
No. So let's go to home. So on the home page, you can share an update, and you can only, when you share an update, it has to be quite short. I think they only allow you something like up to 500 words max. I think it's 250 or 500. I can't remember exactly what it is. You can upload it.
When you used to do an update, we used to have a Twitter account that you could go to also, and it doesn't do that anymore.
No, you can't do any Twitter stuff on LinkedIn.
Well, it used to.
Yeah, you could at one time. They took it away.
Yeah. Not anymore. And you can publish a post from here. You can also publish a post from your profile page. And you can also publish a post from if you publish a post on here, it should also show up on your profile page. And if you have a company page, it should show up on there as well. Now, here's the thing about company pages. Everybody needs to have a company page. If you're in business, you need a company page on LinkedIn. And the way you get your company page is you go into interests and you go to companies. And then you go down, you have to scroll down a little bit because I've got a couple of pages. And then you just click on create. And you put in your company name. And make sure that your company name is your bona fide legal name. And your email address has to be an email address that you own the URL for. So for instance, Christine@practicalpodcasting.com or Christine@marketingmentors.com, right? So it has to be an email that you own. And I tell everybody that because if you don't, if you try to use a Gmail or a Hotmail or something like that, they won't, or SAW, LinkedIn won't let you set up a company account. Okay? Any other questions?
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay, awesome. This has been a blast.
Thank you. I learned lots.
Thank you.
So if
And have fun tomorrow.
you bet we will.
Oh, yeah.
Have a blast. I wish you guys could live closer so you could come. It would be really nice to have.
Well, maybe next year we'll do it in Calgary.
Wouldn't that be fun? Oh,
Yeah.
We should think about doing it in Calgary maybe in the fall next year.
Well, Dorothy presented it to us,
Yeah.
and I've got 4 hotels that said they would be open to it.
Wow.
Cool.
So we'll see.
Yeah, well, let's work on it. We could, like, we have 2 Biz Brigades a year here in Edmonton, one in May and one in October.
Yeah.
So we could look at maybe doing one either in April or November for Calgary.
Yeah. Well, I think Dorothy was thinking about that. Yeah. And I told her I'd look into getting us a venue, and I have a list of people now to contact. So she's got to get this one that she's doing tomorrow out of the way first.
Yeah, we can't, don't talk about it to her about anything.
No, nothing.
Yeah. So this has been a blast. Thank you very much.
Well, thank
Now,
you.
do you want to wait a week or so before you book your one-on-one with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be best.
Okay, we can do that. And so just feel free to email me at marketingmentors@gmail.com. I have all my, I find that's much easier to manage than my Christine@marketingmentors.com.
Okay.
At gmail.com. Okay.
marketingmentors@gmail.com. And just tell me when you're ready to book your 30 minutes. And if you could give me a couple, 3 different dates and times so that I'll have something to work around, that would be great.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Have a great
Bye.